Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Welcome back to the Swan Pricing Show, where we talk about pricing differences between ordinary or everyday or let's say commoditized duck kind of service and expertise-based Swan kind of service. My name is Filip Fucic. I'm a pricing mentor, and this is my namesake.
I am Filip Zolota, the owner of Growth Marketing Agency Mauja.
Cool. So today we're talking about the clients getting the best deal out of expertise-based services when they hold the expert in high regard, right? What I mean by holding them in high regard means respecting them or respecting their opinion, their process, and the general the general rules of that craft, right?
Yep.
Because when there's no such respect in a relationship, and the client starts to micromanage or other things that we're going to talk about today, it's actually the client that gets less value out of it, right? So why would you say that people get less out of an expert if they micromanage them?
It's quite simple. The point is that you are taking a professional to help you and support you in any business endeavor, and that person requires free rein due to the process, experience, skill set, knowledge, and expertise, which can help your business to grow and whatever is a part of respectable task given to the professional. The problem with micromanagement is when somebody who is not skilled in specific craft or doesn't have some specific line of knowledge and that person engaged with a professional. With micromanagement, you are killing all the opportunities to get the best possible service in adequate level. Because one thing is for sure, if you are an expert in one respectable field, you have the previous experience and you know what is good for the process, what is end result of that specific gameplay, and that is it. If somebody who is not skilled nor experienced in that respectable field doing something, it's hit and miss style, and that person is micromanaging and engaging with the professional activity. So, as you said, the result can be only bad or less quality compared to the given free rein to professional to pay him for the professional service, doing his part. That's it.
This is so the opportunity cost is what it's about, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But this is a really big difference from many, not all. I mean, micromanaging is a bad term for a reason. But so it's not good to micromanage your waiter, right? It's not good to micromanage your cleaner in many ways. But in high variance services like translation, like planning a major surgery, the opportunity cost is much higher, right? It's much higher. So although it's a bad idea in general, it's a particularly bad idea with Swan type services, right? Mm-hmm. With the opportunity cost being much higher, and this is also this is also about pushback. The ability of the expert to say, no, you actually don't need that. You don't. Yeah, you think you do, but you don't. If your stated goal is this, then this might be nice and hyped up and you read about it in a magazine, but you're misusing it here. Yep. You're not going to get what you think you're going to get. If you want to get that, you just take a simple Excel table and do that, right? It doesn't take this fancy software. If you want to use it, but it will be suboptimal for this, right? And so when you're not held in high regard, when they think they know better, they also miss these kinds of shortcuts and in a good way shortcuts, right? Well, these are not shortcuts, these are avoiding roundabouts, right? Because it's when you don't understand something fully, it's easy to get, you know, thrown into a roundabout by a fancy YouTube video or a fancy magazine article or a trend that everybody's been talking about. So okay, so how do we you know, incorporate the blockchain into this car wash? You don't. Is the sane answer in most cases. I'm not saying there's absolutely no way. I'm just saying that in most cases you really don't need it, right? So the trick is that with Swan type services, almost by default, you're selling to somebody who is less knowledgeable in what they want from you than you, right? So the only exception I can see to that is like you have a startup founder that's a really good programmer in some type language, and they need you who are also very good at that, but maybe actually a little less of a rock star than they are in that, and then they know actually more than you about that. And I don't think that that's an enviable position to be in if you're really good at something. But other than that, I don't know. So in normal circumstances, by default, if you're an expert, your client is not going to be in actual position to disregard what your expertise drives you to and benefit from it.
Yeah.
I don't think typically that's to be expected, right? Everything's possible, it's just not very probable.
Yeah, and in the end, there is an addition to that. If two people, for example, are in the same specific niche, but still, the first person and the second, they have special knowledge, skill set, and experience in some of the respective fields, which are not only complementary, but can help and support each other in terms of joint endeavor and activity. So you're combining and doing the extra mile and effort together. But as you said, if anybody is engaging with a professional, an expert, doesn't have the experience with respectable niche, and that is the reason why you're looking for something who can help you and support you and do something for you when needed in the scope which is required, and that's it.
Okay, so how do you handle if you see that somebody is not holding your advice in high regard? Okay, so you can always not engage, but let's say you started to engage and then you see that there's a big boss and the big boss thinks he knows better.
I have a crowbar approach.
Okay, this is gonna be good. Go on.
Yeah, it is very effective, especially what's on top of my mind. It's already out there, so it's also a part of the character by all means. The point is that I'm very transparent, and when I get to that specific situations, and I have been in that situations, I am very transparently and openly, immediately addressing that specific case and scenario. It's not the point in dominating other people in the conversation and showing how strong you are in your expertise. No, the point is to put everything in proper alignment, managing the expectations, and explain to the other side, other person, why some things, according to their suggestion, won't be the smartest choice, because that could be potential opening new rabbit holes, bottlenecks, issues, etc., etc. And in majority of cases, people are not crazy. They're understanding it completely if you have a good argumentation for it. I also had, in this case, happened in my mind, I had a crazy situation with one of my friends and colleagues. who is a professional athlete, and we joined in one of the projects, and he engaged with us for our help and support from the perspective of marketing, consultancy, strategy, content creation, and everything. And at starting point, everything was pretty much awesome. But then he started with slightly doing the micromanaging the activities. He would do this, he would do that, blah, blah, blah. And I am always having the same rule. Second attempt, third attempt, and notice, and the third is firing the client. So no matter we were friends, and we still are, but I said, okay, if you want to micromanage and you have a tendency to do so, please try to control yourself, because you are doing, the result is opposite of what we wanted and we set up as the goal. If you cannot help yourself, sorry, I cannot help you anymore in that term. So that was the reason why we parted for that respectable project. Very important communication-wise is not to do what a majority of people would say, and that is running away from confrontation. Confrontation is the best thing which can happen, especially at the early stage of communication. You're managing the expectation, resolving all the bottlenecks, potential problem issues, and answering to questions which will arise on the go. So if you can manage that, explain necessary things immediately on the spot, from that point on, it is much, much easier. And also you align all people involved in respectable brackets. Professional for this, professional for that, and everybody is doing their stuff. Things in which they are the best in, and that is the ideal case and scenario which you need to strive for.
Yeah, so there's there's room here to talk about what I like to call smurfing, which is doing jobs which are so beneath what you do that they signal the wrong thing to the client, and we could talk about that next time. But I mean, this is called this one pricing show. So what has this have to do with pricing? Oh, it absolutely does, because when you price lower than they expected, they see a bargain, and that seems like a good thing. But bargains always come for a reason. There's always a reason why something is not full price, right? And we know that from the physical world. If those potatoes are 40% off, well, some of them are probably bad, which is okay if at this price, right? Because I can tell a rotten potato and throw it away. Or if this apartment is a bargain, there's probably a reason. There's probably mold somewhere, or it's very noisy at night, or there's a train, or there's, you know, the usual bus stop is moved for the next 2 years because of some public works. There's a reason why things are priced as bargains, and when they perceive you and your pricing as a bargain, then they start to wonder why. And as they cannot easily identify the rotten part and throw it away, they think, well, this is a bargain, but I better keep an eye on this guy, right? And then they do keep an eye without understanding the basic stuff about what you do, and then aha. And shouldn't you do this twice to be sure? No, not really, right? Aha, you're selling me, but is that really necessary? I don't see why this is necessary, right? And if you don't have experience with this stuff, you can say, well, you know, the customer is always right. If they don't want this, they don't want to pay for this, who am I to push on that? The answer is the expert. You are the expert. He bought your expertise. And I think it's inherent that we don't hold in high regard things that just things, and I'm talking about things here primarily, that just do what we tell them to. So I'm probably misusing my printer. because I don't use it for maybe weeks, and then when I use it a lot, and I need it now, and I need a lot out of it, right? But also the printer will never push back. It will never say, look, boss, this should be probably printed in grayscale, because you're going to spend a lot of ink on nothing, right? And if it did, I would probably hold it in higher regard. It's a human thing, right? If clearly I'm doing all of the thinking, then I'm in the right to micromanage. And if I try to do something and you push back, and I see, okay, right, I probably shouldn't have done that, then I know you're doing the thinking, and I don't have to watch out for the reason for the bargain, right? So it's much better to charge full price and have them say, okay, so this person obviously has it, right? I can go and do some other things. And then, as we said in the beginning, they also get the full value.
Exactly.
And if you price lower, then they're out hunting for the reason, elusive reason why there's a bargain, and start to poke at things, which then creates conflict, which, as you said, is not everybody's cup of tea. And then people buckle and bend, and then the drive to micromanage more and more and more, and make the whole things worse and worse and worse, not just the expert's life, but the whole result isn't going to be good, because it's not made by the rules as it should be, right? The rules of your craft is going to be made by some mishmash of what your client, who, if he knew this, he wouldn't hire you, thinks it should be done, right? So it has been said that the client always knows what's wrong, but if you ask them, so they're always right on this, right? If they feel something is off, they're basically always right on this. If they then say this should be done to make it better, they're almost always wrong, right? Because they don't see the possibilities, they don't see the ramifications, they don't see the prerequisites, they don't see the whole field, which is why they bought an expert. So I don't know if you have an example or something that would illustrate this pricing too low, and then you get micromanagement as a reward for that.
Yeah, especially through the experience. I know from a respectable position of my colleagues, friends, and partners what was happening to them. One clean example was a colleague of mine. He's a professional in user experience, user interface, front-end design, and everything. He was engaged with a ton of clients and customers. He was in the panic mode, meaning needing that respectable business. So for him, everything was yes. And he was doing the things which are not according to the value set, the professionalism, and the standard according to his knowledge, skill set, and everything. And he was complying and confirming and approving the BS being given from the client side. So the result of that was zero, meaning both of them wasted so many time, argued in so many occasions. He was trying to help them, support them. They were doing this, updates, numerous iterations, and result was a monster under which you don't want to see your signature and being made by me. No, I never heard about that. I never saw that.
I was never close.
Non-existing part of somebody's portfolio, and that is the simple example. There was a needy case, panic mode. I need this project. Client who is by default get the bargain, as you mentioned. So we received the format of a lower price. Cool. I will be engaged. Client will be engaged more. And the result was monster. And that's it.
It's like Ryan Reynolds absolutely never had the role of the Green Lantern. You know that, right? Nobody can remember that.
Never heard of it.
Yeah,
Never heard of
exactly, exactly. So um, cool. Yeah. So that's the case for the client being, of course, the expert being better off if his craft is held in high regard, but that goes without saying. But also the client is simply making it worse, right?
Yeah.
From good intentions, as they say, the road to hell is paved with good intentions. It's from good intentions, from reading the signals right, let's say, they can do absolute harm to their own project by trying to be helpful, right? So the best situation is when you're a client and you're planning on something difficult, then simply let the expert work. So say what you would like to achieve, not how, just what, right? And you'll get a scope, and don't question it much, because this whole expert thing is about trust. And we have to, as experts, we have to evoke trust. We have to work on projecting trust, which includes, as you said, not running away from confrontations, and saying no and pushing back when it's in the interest of the project, so that once this is done, you can actually be proud of that project. You can include it in your references, right? And you will have a happy and satisfied client. Because contrary to popular opinion, I think, if you do whatever the client thinks needs to be done, and you don't get it done because of that, right? You get some faulty result, the client is not going to be happy. Not going to say, well, okay, yeah, you basically took my lead here, so it's on me. No, absolutely not.
Yeah,
absolutely not.
I have one more example. I need to mention it.
Please.
I think it was 8 years ago. One of our clients simply engaged with us because he needed a branding for his company. The branding plus, in addition, website design, creation, development, etc., etc., etc. And in some moment, when we created the initial drafts of the brand, the visuals, the color choices, etc., 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 he wasn't so sure in it. He said, I'm not sure, blah, blah, blah. We said, okay, we're not building this for you. You don't need to like it. You're a client, but I am paying for it. My response to that was only, so I'm still doing this not for you, but for your clients and customers. They are our primary focus, not your subjective preferences about your brand and everything else. So, okay, yeah, it was a short step back. I'm paying for it. And then finally, with adequate argumentation and everything, simply leave that to the professionals to do their stuff. And everything was awesome. He was happy, he is happy, and everything was going forward. And that is also what is quite often happening. And the funniest argument is somebody or I am paying for it. Good for you.
I had a similar situation, although with potentially less stakes. Anyway, I came up with a name for a product, product range, right? And the owners, so not the directors, the owners, teenage son was at the office after school because something, right? So he heard the presentation, because why not, right? And he said, well, I don't like it. And that's basically exactly what I said. Good. You're not meant to. This is not targeted toward snotty-nosed high school. I mean, I didn't say that, but high schoolers. This is meant to impress electrical engineers, of which you are not representative. So you not liking it, that's a good sign. Thank you.
We are on a good path.
And fortunately, I mean, it could have ended badly, but I was annoyed. So it didn't. Everybody got it and said, yeah, exactly. That's a good sign. That's a good sign. He wasn't that pleased, but you know, teenagers are seldom pleased with anything anyway. Yeah, I mean, especially with the visual stuff, with names, with branding, you know,
Yeah.
like, don't like, it's not about that. It's not
Yeah.
about, right? Sure, these things have to appeal. These have to be clear to the person selling it. No doubt about it, right? But they also settle down after a while, right? So you name something. So I didn't make any visual brands, nothing like it. But you see it for the first time, you hear it for the first time, and first you're like, I could, you know, I could take it or I could leave it. After like a couple of days or even a couple of weeks, you would fight and die to have it stay with the same name, because it's such a perfect name. They settle, right?
Yeah.
You have that experience. Anyway, and that's the let's say the serious but cosmetic stuff, right? It's not even, let's not even go towards some legal complications or planning a major heart surgery, right? Well, I'm paying for this, so I want you to do that with the bigger scalpel. It has nice purple hearts on it. I like it. No.
Good choice.
Right. And this is so let's wrap it up. This is really a major difference between the customer is always right of duct services, of conventional services, and the in some cases like scope, the customer is never right. They don't have grounds to be right. They know what they want, not necessarily what they need. What they need in order to get what they want, that's on you, right? This is a big difference, and this is why it's a much more serious subject. The micromanaging and everything. I think it's a much more serious subject for swan pricing than it is for duck pricing. Did you have anything to add?
Yeah, just one more interesting point. Now, when you were sharing this, your thought, it helped me remind when we were building our house. So you take a turnkey solution and enjoy the ride, but you're not micromanaging the professional and say to them what they need to do, and then you get the result you want, because you know what is the end goal, what you want to achieve, as you said. But the point is, you leave to professionals to do their magic.
Yes.
and simply sit in the driver's seat and enjoy. And that is very important. For some of the people, it is hard to put themselves in that specific role, but it will be easier for them simply to leave to professionals to do their stuff, do their job. And definitely, I'm always emphasizing, for people who have the tendency to micromanage, till that small micromanager in yourself, it will be helping your business to strive, because you will be focused only on the important things, while professionals and colleagues are doing important things which are supportive for your important things. that is entire a life cycle and practically the ring of communication which needs to be in place. That is only 2 cents for me. Yeah.
And to do that, you have to charge enough. That's
Always.
that's the idea. Cool, cool. Philip, where can people find you?
People can find me on my growth marketing agency website, maoyo.agency, and on the website of my consultancy website, maoyo.consulting, and always being available and online on LinkedIn.
People can find me also on LinkedIn, also on YouTube, and they're all welcome to join my highly popular newsletter, which goes out twice a week. And it's all right now on liftoff.pro, but soon is going to be merged, and possibly if somebody is listening to this in the future, it's going to be all merged and repackaged by a professional to website fearlesspricing.com. Thank you all, and see you next week.
See you. Bye.